Breaking right now, the British royal family mired in one of its biggest crises in history.
The princess is targeting Meghan Markle, and it might destroy everything that the Sussex family possesses. Constructed. According to reports, she has ignited an official inquiry into Archewell. Meghan is being sued for $10 million on her Netflix project, an ongoing struggle for slander, and now a marriage supposedly in danger of collapsing. How did a wedding from a fairy tale become into financial scrutiny, legal turmoil, and royal banishment? Furthermore, is Princess Anne really planning Meghan's irreversible decline from the fold of the royal family? Come along as we analyze the investigation specifics that were introduced into Archewell, the silent campaign of Princess Anne. According to reports, King Charles recently shown a desire to make amends with his youngest son, and even getting to know his Lilith and Archie grandchildren. However, Princess Anne has become the most significant barrier between Meghan Markle and her possible comeback to the United Kingdom or the royal family. In private, Princess Anne has been dragging strings at Windsor's backstage castle, supporting the Queen and Prince William Camilla blocks. All avenues of return for the King Charles III is being urged by Sussex to prohibit the actress in the outfits from going over the threshold. What distinguishes Anne's intervention, that is quite intriguing, is her usual unwillingness to get involved herself in the politics of the family. The royal position on Meghan has been constant from the start. Neil Shah, a royal specialist, disclosed that at the beginning of Meghan's royal career, the princess was sought after by an actress for guidance on handling life as a working like a royal. The counsel of and was straightforward and pragmatic by nature. Consider being a royal as a career rather than a means to become extremely well known. But Meghan reportedly departed her meeting with Princess and was stunned. As stated by in the end, Shah, the Duchess of Sussex decided not to heed Anne's advice, rather taking a route that gave priority to media and personal brand development engagement, as opposed to customary royal assistance. Years later, Anne's early evaluation has shown itself to be prescient, and according to reports, she supports Prince, Queen Camilla and William are at odds to any return from Sussex. According to Anne, it's insanity that Charles would tolerate any kind of reconciliation or forgiveness, let alone consent to this upstart in their vicinity. The insider disclosed, in reference to Markle, that the source included a dire caution regarding what would occur if Meghan had the courage to come back. Should Meghan choose to attend returning to the UK, and discovering that she is in the Camilla, and in the same room, she'll receive a very brief shrift, which is almost the most terrifying combination conceivable. Anne's participation in preventing the Sussex family is a powerful force. Make a move. Even though they don't always agree, i.e. with Prince William, her nephew, according to reports, she fully concurs with according to his evaluation. The Sussexes are without shame exploiting King Charles. The intervention strengthens William's effort to retain Harry. Particularly Meghan is not affiliated with the monarchy. Why does Princess Anne object? For Meghan, especially distressing is Anne's impeccable standing in the royal family and others. Also referred to as Anne, the most diligent royal fulfills more formal obligations than any other relative, frequently surpassing 500 appearances annually, despite her reaches her mid-70s. Her commitment to obligation without pursuing media attention, or in sharp contrast, personal gain to what many believe to be Meghan's method of living as a royal. Anne's early alert on Meghan's limited shelf life in the monarchy has demonstrated exceptionally prescient. Royal insiders claim that when Anne suggested that Meghan handle royal life as a career, she was using her own decades of expertise, and herself had to deal with harsh media scrutiny when she was younger, went through a challenging first marriage that ended in divorce, and endured innumerable hardships. However, she never voiced her complaints in public, never tried to make money off of her royal status, and she never presented herself as a victim. She thought Meghan would exhibit comparable fortitude and discretion. The reality that Meghan chose an alternative route, which featured the Oprah the Netflix series, The Interview and Spare, Harry's memoir, has only strengthened Anne's conviction that you can't trust the Duchess with access to the family of kings. According to people close to Anne, she believes Meghan's behavior as a serious betrayal not only of the organization, but also of the Elizabeth II. The late monarch who had welcomed Meghan was kind and accommodating. Things were unheard of for a new member of the household. Anne's partnership Queen Camilla is especially important. The two females have built a solid working rapport, develop regard for one another over time. Both have been harshly criticized by the media and for what was thought to be her icy manner. Camilla for her part in Charles's initial union. Additionally, both have subtly rebuilt their renowns by continuously work that isn't glamorous. They stand for everything that Meghan isn't. Self-assured and patient-os, and dedicated to serving instead rather than receiving service. William the Prince's agreement with his aunt over this matter builds a strong barrier against any Sussex reconciliation. As heir, William has great power in relation to the throne, over the choices made by his father. When Anne and William speak in unison, Charles finds it almost impossible to proceed with the reconciliation process plans, independent of his own hopes. The monarch might choose to view his grandkids and fix his connection with Harry, but he is unable to afford to offend both his heir and his sister in the process. However, Princess Anne's disapproval of the Sussex joining the royal family again is just the starting. Beyond the news, Archewell is coming under increasing scrutiny. From financial turmoil to a potential IRS research. What precisely is taking place at the foundation of Sussex? Furthermore, how deep how is this crisis going? The dilemma of the Archewell. As Princess Anne attempts to close the Harry, the door to any royal reunion, and Meghan must deal with potentially disastrous issues with their charitable foundation that can ruin their public perception and possibly destroy their union. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are said to be on the verge of an examination of their recently changed name Archewell. Philanthropies is a charity, though the humanitarian endeavours of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex Foundation may be the subject of a very soon by US officials in the face of increasing crisis. Reports from New Idea magazine. The figures depict an extremely unsettling image. Archewell's overall costs in 2024 were $7.5 million, and it received donations from $3. $1 million. Just $1. $8 million was released by the charity in grants in the same calendar year. This indicates that Archewell spent more than twice how much money it raised in donations and allocated fewer than 25% of its spending as real grants to charities. New 2024 financial reports show even more concerning information. Contributions dropped precipitously from around £3,960,000 in 2023 to a mere £1,570,000 in 2024. Even more dubious, practically the whole the year's haul seems to depend on a $2 million contribution was made via the Community Foundation of Silicon Valley. Critics believe it may be connected to the same unidentified donor who discreetly $7,500,000 back in 2021 to Archewell. By 2024's end, Archewell's liabilities had increased by more than £600,000. In contrast to the year prior, giving to charity watchdogs are clearly perplexed by the financial trend of the foundation, with costs skyrocketing while donations fell apart. This isn't the Archewell has never faced regulatory examination. May 2024 saw the charity was deemed to be in arrears by the Registry of Charities in California and fundraisers for non-payment of annual registration costs or complete the necessary yearly reports. Rob Bont, Attorney General of California, sent a delinquency notice to this month. The Archewell Foundation noted that the organization's revitalization, the information was lacking. State documents reveal that the foundation's previous May 2023 was the date of renewal, and that it has been formally designated delinquent, indicating that the charity is unable to raise funds. The pair asserted that the problem was just a misplaced check in the mail. Gavin, the governor of California, in defense of them, Newsom described it as a technical paperwork problem that was excessively hyped. But the trend of financial poor leadership and dubious choices keeps raising eyebrows. Inflaming the dispute, Archewell withdrawn funds from the Milwaukee Muslim Women's Coalition regarding what they believed hate speech, establishing a public relations horror when the coalition made accusations them of leaving Afghan refugee women behind. The ruling showed that even the humanitarian endeavors of Sussex have evolved into enmeshed in criticism and controversy. The circumstances at Archewell are especially difficult due to Harry and Meghan's they presented themselves as advocates for accountability and openness. The royal family has come under fire for financial transparency and absence of disclosure. They portrayed themselves as contemporary, different types of benefactors from the stiff, reclusive British establishment. They now have to deal with inquiries regarding their own financial administration that reflects the very accusations they have made against other people. Experts in finance who have examined the publicly accessible papers articulate worry about a number of warning signs. Initially, dependence on a single unidentified donor because most funding generates extreme susceptibility. Should that donor stop providing assistance, as seems to be taking place based on the figures for 2024, the foundation's total operation is no longer viable. Second, the proportion of grants to expenses is concerning. A wholesome charity usually disperses at least 65 to 75% of its funds to real charitable programs. Just 24% is being distributed by Archewell. All the money, where is it going? The filings reveal substantial costs for pay, advisors, travel, and operational expenses. Critics have questioned whether Archewell works more as a means of employment for the Allies and Friends of Sussex, as an efficient non-profit organisation, that the foundation employs a limited number of people, yet high overhead, indicating financial is being used for purposes other than direct philanthropic endeavours. The timing of the possible IRS probe was unable to be worse for Meghan and Harry. They're already having issues with believability following the early termination of their Spotify deal, conflicting opinions on their Netflix content, as well as persistent queries regarding how they are financing their opulent Montito way of life. An inquiry that finds financial mishandling, or worse, inappropriate use of charitable contributions, would demolish what's left of their public picture. Additionally, there is the issue of how an Archewell controversy would have an impact on their union. According to reports, Harry has been the more active participant in the foundation's work, seeing it as an extension of the generous legacy of his mother. If his charitable vehicle gets entangled in scandal, it would signify a private failure that transcends simple humiliation. Given that Meghan has already endured years of bad press, yet another significant controversy could be the last straw that persuades she should withdraw from public life completely, or to detach from Harry in order to safeguard her personal reputation. The Archewell crisis also indicates a basic Harry and Meghan's issue post-royal approach. They desired the royal life status and platform, sans the limitations and responsibility. However, acting as private citizens entails being examined by authorities, tax authorities, as well as charitable watchdogs who with the authority to look into and punish misconduct. The family of kings, for all of its issues, functions under distinct regulations and appreciates certain safeguards. Harry and Meghan are learning that living outside the castle walls has its own unique set of difficulties. Obstacles they might not have the necessary tools. During the unresolved financial chaos anywhere is a lawsuit. What occurs when lifestyle guidance becomes risky? The $10 million legal action. As though the Archewell investigation wasn't sufficient, Meghan confronts a potentially disastrous lawsuit from someone who watched her Netflix series with Adore Meghan, who asserts the Duchess's her recipe for homemade bath salts left her with catastrophic harm. Robin Patrick, a Maryland-based diabetic, claims she used a bath salt recipe that starred in the Netflix series starring Meghan Markle. With affection, Meghan. The recipe contained arnica oil, Himalayan salt, Epsom salt, and lavender oil without any explicit notice any possible dangers. According to Patrick, what transpired is terrifying. The bath salts, she says, produced serious burns that turned into excruciating ulcers that haven't recovered. The woman with diabetes contends that Meghan violated her duty of care by failing to giving a sufficient warning regarding the dangers of utilizing the salts, particularly for diabetics. Diabetes sufferers are strongly advised against using bathing salts because their feet are frequently dry, or diabetic neuropathy-related nerve damage, and the healing process for wounds might be lengthy and rapidly get worse. As per a letter acquired by the Patrick is looking for $10 on his own. Punitive damages of $1 million. Additionally, she's requested $75,000 in compensation. Damages to pay for her medical bills and additional associated expenses that could result from the consequences of her purported burns. The legal team for Meghan has launched a strong defense. Cameron Strater of companies that own intellectual property, the show's producing company, replied, "In accordance with the law, neither IPC, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, Netflix, or Archewell is responsible for your assertions. None of the accountable parties, as well as the entities for the series as stated in your letter, owing you a specific obligation of care, since you not have a unique connection to any of them." Legally, the attorney went on, "There is nothing intrinsically hazardous about a combination of salts, essential oil and arnica oil. As a result, because the bath salts recipe, which is said to have caused your injuries, does not make up a distinct and current public safety risk, you can't pierce First Amendment safeguards for speech by filing a lawsuit for negligence." Regardless of the lawsuit's outcome, it is just another PR catastrophe, for Meghan's Netflix series was meant to demonstrate her knowledge of lifestyle and solidify her reputation as a wellness influencer. Rather, it has produced charges of carelessness and possible injury. The irony is evident. AA program designed to encourage well-being has claimed to have caused severe physical harm. The bath salts case additionally highlights the dangers of living a celebrity lifestyle. Satisfied. When Gwyneth or Martha Stewart Paltrow offers wellness tips or recipes, they have legal teams and insurance regulations and organizational frameworks to shield them from responsibility. Meghan going about her business, but it is still well known had the information, I might not have equivalent degree of defense. Experts point out that even if Meghan wins the lawsuit in the end, and the First Amendment is a powerful defense, the harm to her reputation might be irreversible. The lawsuit has made news, globally linking Meghan Markle with news reports about burns, ulcers, and health damage narratives and conversations on social media. For someone attempting to develop a way of life empire, this is disastrous. Lawsuit also calls into question the procedure of due diligence for With Love. Meghan, did you test the recipes? Medical experts were consulted regarding possible dangers. Were cautions included? For those with health issues? A viewer's assertion that they were gravely hurt, implying that the production team might not have been able to foresee clear threats. Robin Patrick's lawyer has clarified that they have faith in Meghan, IPC, and Netflix. Everyone is accountable for what transpired. In court documents, they contend that Meghan's notoriety and reliability, standing as a royal family member, established a duty of care that was broken when she advertised a possibly hazardous recipe without sufficient cautions. For Meghan's larger company approach, the case is very harmful since it targets the heart of what she's attempting to construct. She desires to be regarded as a living well specialist, making wise decisions and establishing a lovely life. But a professional wouldn't encourage anything that might be harmful individuals. A specialist would consist of suitable cautions and security details. According to the lawsuit, Meghan is pretending to be an expert on lifestyle without possessing the necessary knowledge or to perform it safely. A support system is needed. Her difficulties won't go away anytime soon. Shortly, and she is the source this time. Samantha Markle's own family battle against defamation. While coping with Meghan goes on to discuss the bath salts lawsuit, engaging in a legal dispute with her Samantha Markle, a half-sister who declines to disappear. Samantha initially filed a defamation lawsuit against Meghan in 2022 over remarks made during the remarkable interview with Oprah Winfrey and the Harry and Meghan is a Netflix documentary series. Meghan revealed to Oprah that she was raised as an only child and would have preferred to have siblings, although Tom Markle and Samantha Jr. had already left there. The home of Father Thomas Markle Sr., March 2024, saw the dismissal of the lawsuit with Judge Charlene Honeywell's decision that each and every claim in the case was inactionable, due to the fact that it is protected opinion, largely accurate based on evidence observed by the court, not able to have been seen as derogatory, or as the plaintiff is not allowed to fulfilling the criterion of real malice. But Samantha wouldn't accept loss. She challenged the decision, and a crucial hearing was planned for the August 11th, 2025, the week of August 11th Atlanta's Circuit Court of Appeal, Georgia. An 11th Circuit panel showed up prepared on Tuesday in order to put out the flames of a lawsuit conflict between her and Meghan Markle, arranged for the appellant to see the half-sister chief judge of the court virtually outright refusing to reverse a federal. The court dismissed the defamation case. Assertions. Peter Tickton, Samantha's attorney, made her imaginative defense. If someone had a handbook on how to cause harm to someone and avoid being held accountable for a claim in slander against you, it's a smorgasbord that includes every one method of evading responsibility combined into one. The lawsuit additionally specific remarks made by Christopher Boozy, an expert on social media, who appears in the Netflix series, and claimed Samantha had disseminated false information on Meghan's Twitter account. Samantha's group claims the program directed viewers into thinking she had planned the hate campaign against racists against her sister, a description that they refer to it as defamatory and unfair. Although the majority of legal professionals think in the end, Samantha's appeal will be denied. The protracted legal dispute keeps Meghan's dysfunctional families in the news and stops her from going further. Richard Fitzwilliams, a royal expert, observed that Meghan's familial distance is imminent over her, creating a shadow of darkness. regarding her attempts to reimagine herself as a business owner. Eric Schiffer, a crisis management specialist, stated to Fox News Digital, "Whether it's from me saying that someone else ought to make amends with a relative, but I'll say this. Anytime you decide to file a lawsuit or make your family's problems public in front of a worldwide panel of your colleagues, it never results in a successful outcome. Everybody loses." From a severe conflict with her sister to rumors of a shortcoming marriage, Meghan's life is experiencing severe examination. However, what is actually taking place with Harry? The marriage is in trouble. Beyond the court cases and monetary inquiries, possibly the most startling development entails persistent claims that the marriage of Harry and Meghan might not make it through 2026. The cause of the conflict in the marriage isn't financial disputes or adultery. It's a more basic and possibly unsolvable, an essential conflict over where they should live based on Harry's developing fixation with going back to the UK and Meghan's strong opposition to the concept. These days, Prince Harry has grown more obsessed with the notion of increasing spending time spent in the UK. The catalyst is obvious. Charles the King's Harry's health problem has made him more feel like there is not much time left. The 77-year-old father is fighting cancer. Harry apparently had a quick meeting with Charles in September at Clarence House 2025, which rekindled his ambition to mend family ties before it's too late. 2026 seems crucial to Harry. However, for Meghan, the idea of going back reflects everything she is to the UK. Escaped. She is equally adamant about not must be hastily returned to a nation where she relates to suffering, examination, and unresolved issues. She is unwilling to return to that location, and Sensations The Insider says it's back on the table. Described. Meghan has also made an effort to resist the rumors of a divorce. In a mail sent on New Year's Eve, she revealed specifics about her and Harry's plan to write. "When we ring in 2026 together, when midnight arrives, I'm rejoicing with you. Glasses raised, bubbly bottles, confetti in the air, and popping for us, it's showers of flowers, dropping in its place." Additionally, she supported their romance in a conversation with Harper's Bazaar. "He loves me so fervently and completely, and he also has an alternative viewpoint since he has access to media that I do not. Nobody and I am more loved by the world than he is. Thus, I understand that he will always ensure that he's got my back." But insiders claim that these public proclamations of solidarity could conceal deeper issues. The couple's growing distance from one another. Meghan's professional life is centered on her lifestyle and return to Hollywood brand, as Harry withdraws from some commitments, have only increased conjecture that they're getting ready for different futures. The geographical gap symbolizes more than merely a useful debate over a place to dwell. It represents values that are essentially distinct, and priorities that might not be able to make amends. Harry's identity stems from his military service, his British ancestry service, his humanitarian endeavors in the United Kingdom and Africa, as well as his complicated connection alongside his family. In spite of everything, he is still a royal despite what has transpired. Still fifth in line for the crown, still the late monarch's son and Princess Diana. The fact that he can't just walk away from, know of how much he could want to occasionally. According to reports, the couple has attempted a number of concessions. Harry proposed that they could spend a few months in the UK every year, dividing their time between California and as well as Britain. In response, Meghan said that Harry could come by herself while she's staying with the Montito kids. Harry suggested bringing Leet and Archie to go see their grandfather without Meghan needing to interact with the larger royal family. Meghan was concerned that any trip to the UK would be used as a weapon against them by the British press. None of these concessions have been successful since they all need one partner to give up something they believe in as necessary. Harry's relationship cannot be repaired with his dad from 5,000 meters away. Meghan cannot safeguard her psychological well-being while living in the country part-time. She takes responsibility for her trauma. It's an impossible circumstance without any clear solution. Relationship specialists who have researched given the circumstances, it appears that Harry and Meghan is going through what's called basic clash between values. A disagreement that is so profound and fundamental identity that is almost compromised impossible. In contrast to disputes over finances, parenting, or infidelity itself, which might be fixed by communication and counseling, conflicts over basic values frequently result into differences that cannot be reconciled. Beyond their individual hardships, Harry and Meghan's business collaboration seems to be breaking apart as well, with both seeking greater independence initiatives that imply they might be preparing for a life apart. Harry has been performing on his own. His visits to the United Kingdom, including his charity and recent court appearances, labor. But his professional reputation suffered greatly when he suddenly stepped down as patron of Sentinel, the HIV charity in Africa he founded in 2006 as a memorial to his late Princess Diana, mother. Sophie Chandola, a physician who has led Sentinel since July 2023, according to the Duke, dealt with his exit from the generosity was equivalent to intimidation and mass bullying. Harry stood up for himself, stating that he and Prince, the co-founder Lasso's sister, resigned because the connection between the non-profits Dr. Chandolka and the trustees broke down. Irreparable. The Charity of Britain, the Commission, looked into it and discovered no proof of pervasive or systemic harassment or bullying at Sentinel, but Harry's reputation was harmed by completed. Meghan has been concentrating on Netflix and her lifestyle brand initiatives, such as with Love Meghan, which has sparked additional debate. As opposed to acclaim, the show's conflicting reviews, in addition to the bath salts action, cite Meghan's efforts to become the Gwyneth Paltrow or Martha Stewart next might be failing. The pair's deals worth millions of dollars with Netflix and Spotify were meant to guarantee their financial prospects and solidify their status as powerful figures in the media. But there, the Spotify deal ended too soon, and Archewell's internal strain reports productions have questioned if their media empire will endure. Which situation, in your opinion, presents the greatest danger to Harry and Meghan's the future? Do you think Princess and is the authority to prevent Meghan from returning to the United Kingdom? Or ought King Charles to permitted to make amends with his son and daughter-in-law? Share your opinions with us in the space provided for comments. Recall for more, like, share, and subscribe. Additionally, click the next video that appears on your display. You'll like it.